Good morning. Welcome to chapel. You are welcome here today and always, whoever you are, whoever you know yourself to be, whoever you are becoming. Today for chapel, you'll need a purple hymnal, so grab one if you need one. Ringers, I threw some on the edge of the stage there, so if you need a hymnal, you can go find one. We are closing in here on the end of the year, and that means some things are slowing down, but in our world, there's a lot happening. So there's gonna be like quick and dirty reminders about a lot of things, and if you don't remember them all, just come find us or check us out on social media, and we'll get you the info. This Friday, no chapel due to Learning at Luther, so go support your friends who are presenting. We will be back to our regular chapel schedule next week, which is our last week of chapel for the year. Next Monday evening is our last Emmaus of the semester, and per tradition, it's an off-campus Emmaus for food and worship at my house. Email ministry at Luther or get in touch with me for details if you plan to join us. Next week, Tuesday, during Shadow Block, we are holding a meeting for all leaders of faith-based student orgs and groups, as well as for anybody who would be interested in brainstorming, resurrecting, or leading a faith-based student org next year. That meeting will be at 9:45 next Tuesday in Quali Lounge. A week from this Sunday, May 18th, is our annual celebration worship to close out the year, 10 a.m. here in the CFL. We'd love for you to join us. Between now and then, you're invited to go visit the posters in the Union and share with us what you are celebrating from this past year. And then just two quick additional reminders. If you're working at a camp this summer, let us know so that we can send you a care package. And looking what feels like an eternity ahead, we are already starting to recruit our college ministries volunteers for next fall's welcome week. So if that sounds like something you're interested in doing, watch for more info or get in touch with our office. Today in chapel, we get to hand most of today off to Cam Moll, who is serving as our chapel speaker and director of Luther Ringers, who have played our prelude and have some more special music for us in a few moments. So thank you, Cam and Ringers, for sharing today. Again, welcome to chapel, and as you are comfortable and able, I invite you to stand as we get grounded and centered for worship. I suspect many of you are carrying a lot right now, so I invite you to metaphorically just set it all down for these next moments. Know that you can pick it all up again when you leave, but for right now, set it all down. Let your body relax. Feel the ground as it rises up to support you. Take a few deep breaths and just come into the stillness of the moment. We gather in the name of the God of love, who grants us the power to be gentle, the strength to be forgiving, the patience to be understanding, and the endurance to accept the consequences of holding to what is charitable, honorable, and true. Refresh us with your promises of abundant life, and teach us to be generous of spirit. Let divine peace rule in our hearts so that we may not be overcome with evil, but overcome evil with good. Amen. Our song today is number 1084 in your purple book, number 1084.
morning, and thank you so much for being here today. In preparation for this speech today, serving as both a project for Wanda Deifeldt's Intro to Interfaith Studies course that I'm taking, as well as simply a space for me to reflect on my time at Luther as the sun sets on this chapter of my life, I have found myself fascinated with this semester's theme of Let Love Be Genuine. As I reflect on my Luther experience, I will explore how the genuine love of this community has shaped my journey and prepared me to be an educator and leader in a pluralist society, as well as the responsibility that we all have to be good stewards of the love that we experience as members of this community and work to make the world a better and more inclusive place. Very seldom does a person have the ability to make a decision in which there are absolutely no regrets or contemplations of hindsight. Deciding to come to Luther has undoubtedly been one of the best decisions I have ever made, and the people that I have met as part of this institution have transformed me as a student, a musician, a leader, and as a human being, and have given me space in which to grow. Growing up as a Christian, I was introduced to the genuine love of Jesus at a young age. Jesus' primary commandment of loving thy neighbor as yourself has been the guiding principle of my life and relationships. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a diverse and inclusive school community and grew up recognizing the value and strength of our differences. I think that I knew Luther was the right choice from the start, but had no idea just how impactful being of this part of this community would be. To me, genuine love is the ability to walk around campus and greet and hold a conversation with just about anyone that I run into. It's the feeling of being so connected, so embedded in a community that you simply cannot imagine your life without that community. I'm so grateful for the love that this institution has extended to me and my participation in various activities on campus, such as conducting the Luther Ringers, experiencing the nuances of Luther community through my work in dining services and admissions, and the experience of singing in choirs, particularly in Cathedral and Nordic, that have given me the tools that I need to be ready in order to go out into the world as a teacher and hopefully make a difference in the lives of students. At the risk of being cliche and receiving many an eye roll, I find it fitting to acknowledge my class's paideia enduring question for our first year. In a divided society, how do we live in community? Since then, the world and country in which we live has only gotten more divided, and in spite of this division, the world is also a more diverse place than it ever has been before. In his book on interfaith leadership, Ibu Patel argues that the distinguishing feature of our age is pluralization, meaning the frequent and intense interaction between people with different identities. For diversity to become pluralism, Patel argues, it must be positively and proactively engaged. Ibu Patel offers a variety of character sketches of responses to pluralism. People who build barriers proudly proclaim the righteousness of their identity while loudly denouncing the identities of others. People who build bunkers want to seal themselves off from a world of diversity. Those who wield bludgeons are violently antagonistic towards people who are different. This response is of particular significance in the context of a country and a world in which religion is so often weaponized as a tool to inflict injury on others in a way that I fundamentally believe contradicts the teaching of Jesus and his commandment of genuine love. Our Luther College education teaches us to build bridges in response to pluralism, embracing the strength of our differences to create a vibrant community built on acceptance and love. It is important to recognize the isolation of our community, however, as a bubble in a world that is so desperately needs the genuine love at this moment in our history. Earlier this semester, I decided to purchase this Luther ring as a way to commemorate my transformative college experience. On the inside of this ring, I have transcribed "Only in the Love," a powerful statement from the breathtaking oratorio Considering Matthew Shepard that responds to the question of how do we combat hatred only in the love that lifts us up. I will close with a connection to my participation in the musical Children of Eden this spring. Of all the incredible mountaintop experiences that I've had at Luther, few have been transformative as my participation in this show. This March, I experienced what in many ways was the best 3 weeks of my college career, feeling the genuine love of a community of people that lived and breathed a shared sense of purpose, of creating a work of art together, sometimes spending up to 20 hours a week together in rehearsals, eating meals together, and bonding over the shared love of a show that I quite frankly do not think any of us will ever get over. The show, a loosely accurate depiction of biblical events of the book of Genesis, functions as a story of generational trauma in which the complex nature of love is explored. The finale of the show contains the line, "Our hands can choose to drop the knife, our hearts can choose to stop the hating." As I prepare to leave this community and set off to experience the world, I hope that you will join me in the proposition that this lyric suggests. We, as stewards of the genuine love exemplified in the Luther community, have a responsibility to make and actively make the choice to take this love and spread it throughout a world that needs it more than ever. To conclude with one last passage from Considering Matthew Shepard. "And know we are the love that moves, the sun and all the stars. O love that dwells, O love that burns in every human heart." How do we begin? Only in the love.
Go now in peace, live only in the love. Thanks be to God.